Hello, my name is Dr. Ling, and I'm Associate Professor with the Department of Social Work. And today I'm representing the department to share with you about social work. And this will be the four following points I'm going to share in this short video clip. So every day when we wake up and we open the newspapers, we're always being introduced to a wide range of social issues that we face as a society. So this could include issues like poverty, elder abuse, suicide, or survivors, the mothers who are the bereaved. Even during COVID-19, what about those children from low-income families, as well as the safe havens that are needed for women who suffer from family violence during this COVID-19 period? So then what is social work? So the primary mission of social work profession is to enhance human well-being and help meet the basic human needs of all people, with particular attention to the needs and empowerment of people who are vulnerable, oppressed, and living in poverty. So in short, social work is about transforming lives of individuals. It's about empowering communities so that community can help community. And lastly, it's about changing society. Social work is a professional and academic discipline. It is a professional discipline. In fact, we are a discipline that is providing a professional degree. So at the end of your undergraduate education, you can practice as a social worker. It is also an academic discipline because social work involves research and practice to work with people to improve the quality of life and to the development of the potential of each individual, group, and community of a society. So who are those who study social work? Perhaps many of you will think that those with a kind heart. We do. Well, it's true partially. You must be able to feel for the other person in order to do social work. You must enjoy talking to people, listening to people in order to do social work. But that alone will not make you a good social worker. We must have the thinking ability. We must be able to do the right things and do things in the right way. And thinking alone will not bring any outcome. So we must be accompanied by action. We must be able to work, right? Take actions. And social work is one profession that is not about office work 9 to 5, right? If it's you're just thinking about doing a desk work in office 9 to 5, I'm afraid social work may not be that for you. So to do social work, you must be able to feel, you must be able to think, and must be willing to take action. So if I were to introduce further about social work practice in a pictorial manner, I will let you visualize it in terms of continuum. So in social work, we work with individuals all the way to the environment. And that means we have micro practice as well as macro practice. And this can be done in a direct practice format or indirect practice format. So what will make up a direct practice format will be activities like casework, group work, or community work. And for indirect practice, it is largely about research, about administration, about policy making. So what do we learn in social work? So this is a chart that shows social education. You could see the left is on the undergraduate and the right is on the postgraduate. So today we're going to cover about the undergraduate education. So there are 4 years, right, all the way to the honors years. And each year there are some core modules that you have to do in order to fulfill your criteria. So, but what I'd like to highlight here is the field placement. Right? There are 2 placements that each social work major will have to undergo, and this takes place during your May to July holidays, right? And that will be 10 weeks and 400 hours per placement. So during this 400 hours, you'll be attached with an agency, be it a hospital or a family service centers or even prisons. So you will be placed there to work with real clients under close supervision of a registered social worker who will act as your field supervisor. And upon graduation, you would have accumulated 800 hours of field practice, and this qualify you to register as a conditional registered social worker. You still have to fulfill another 200 hours in your job placement to clock in the 200 hours under supervision of a supervisor who is a registered social worker. Upon accumulating 1,000 hours of field practice, you are then qualified to register full-fledged as a registered social worker. So this is a professional degree. To give you a further glimpse into the kind of modules that you may read in social work, so these are some of the core modules as well as elective modules. There are more elective modules that is not highlighted here, but I want to emphasize the 4 modules that are in red. So these are the modules that you have to fulfill before you can register as a major in social work. So what is our philosophy of undergraduate degree? We emphasize on the core competencies of all our social work students. So all social work students are being trained on knowledge and skills, but not just knowledge alone and skills alone. We emphasize on the integration of theory and practice. So our education is very much experiential besides cognitive or intellectual. In addition, we also pay attention to ethics. We abide by a code of professional ethics, and that marks us different from volunteers. Right. And social work is very much applied social science, so it's the applied nature of discipline. We have a lot of skills training and field experiences for students, and I'm going to show you a little bit more later on. Lastly, our undergraduate degree lays as a foundation for postgraduate and continuing professional education. Reason being that in social work, there are many different disciplines that you can pursue upon graduations. So what you learn in undergraduate are the core competency, skills, and knowledge. You will still need to continue to do further education if you want to specialize in certain areas, such as in family therapy or in rehabilitation or even in medical. There are many disciplines. You may want to go specialize in palliative care. So these are required further education. So give you a glimpse of what is it like for some of our modules. For example, in this module on welfare economics, Dr. Irene Ng even conducted a simulated parliament for students to debate about the welfare economics. They even visit the parliament to have a sense of what is it like. We also visit agencies such as the prison service or even to a mayor's office. So if you look at the picture at the bottom left, you'll see Dr. Maliki Osman. He was then a mayor, but now he's a senior minister of Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as Ministry of Defense. For your information, he's actually one of our alumni too. Besides visits, we also have role plays. Role plays is very much emphasized in social work education as well as projects. We also have simulations, such as you have to learn to be like a blind person. What is it like to be a disabled person, walking without the vision? What is it like to walk like an elderly with blurred visions and we have limited mobility? Then we also have learning projects in the community, such as the youth outreach program, as well as the one that's shown on the bottom left, which is a neighborhood health service. So this is actually a students' initiative, which is interdisciplinary. So our social students will conduct home visits to every low-income elderly in a designated community to look into their health issues. So they will conduct a home visit as a team, which consists of not only social work students, but also medical students, nursing students, and sometimes even physiotherapists and dentists. Besides going out, we also invite guests to speak to our students. So that include ministers or even other professionals from other disciplines whom we work closely with, such as economists who work very closely on social issues, even on professionals who are from ComCare. So social students are very blessed with a wide range of scholarships, right? And you may want to visit our website to find out more, but namely, there are some big scholarships that you can look out for. These include like social service scholarships offered by National Council of Social Services, NCSS scholarships. We also have scholarships from Ministry of Family and Social Development, MSF, or even MOH, Ministry of Health. So why major in social work? Well, it is a professional education. It is meaningful learning and career. There are great job opportunities and career progression. For those who are altruistic, Singapore needs you. For those who may not want to practice as a social worker upon graduation, well, social work at least allows you to understand self and society better. Maybe you can become a better person, you can improve interpersonal skills, or maybe you major in social work because of the very nice and cohesive teachers and students. So talking about career prospects, social work has proved to be recession-proof. So in good times and in bad times, we never run out of job. We are needed to conduct different kind of work with our clients, right? And there are many avenues for us to, for our students to go for employment. Perhaps, who knows, one of you may end up as the first position in Singapore again, like our Mr. Nathan, S.R. Nathan, our former president of Singapore. He is actually a graduate from the first social work class of 1952. Other distinguished alumni would include like Ms. Ang Bilian, who is the Director of Social Welfare in the Ministry of Social and Family Development, Mr. Desmond Chin, who is currently now Commissioner of Prisons. Last year, we saw 3 social workers received award from our President of Singapore, Madam Halimah Yacob. So that includes a Promising Social Worker Award recipients, Mr. Lim Shen Yong, who is a Senior Social Worker with Ang Mo Kio Family Service Center, the Community Services branch. And we have 2 Outstanding Social Worker Award recipients, Mr. Lee Sing Ming, who is the Director of SHINE, which is a youth agency, as well as Ms. Tan Ching Yi, who is the Head of Psychosocial Services of HCA Hospice Care, who work closely with patients at the end of life. Well, you may start to think about what does it take to read social work. Maybe it's good for you to do a check-in yourself. Ask yourself, Do you value people? Do you have a sense of social justice? Are you intellectually curious about social issues? Do you want to make a difference? If you choose to tick for all the 4 questions, we would like to invite you to take up the social work journey. With that, I thank you.